So I wanted to give an update on where I am since January. I have not posted on this channel since January because I focused on TikTok and really just creating videos with a talking head to really build up that confidence of talking online more. So I weighed 342 pounds in January at a doctor's appointment. And at that point, I had already been trying to lose weight. I was down about 18 pounds, I think is what it was, from my heaviest. So that would have put me about 360. And I decided at that appointment that I needed to make some changes to really get close to this goal because my goal was 250 pounds by August. And I don't know that I'm going to hit that at this point. I had a few months of trying different things and finding out what worked. And I tried a lot of fads and diets and stuff, but it just didn't work. I was able to lose 20 pounds, but that was purely just from changing a couple things here and there, but I really wanted to build on more simplicity and sustainability. And I knew that one thing that I needed to change, and I've spoken about this multiple times in my short videos, is I hate tracking with a passion. I've always said that, but as a grown up, I've got to get over that. And somebody looking to hit a weight loss goal, I've got to get over that. So I wanted to start something that was simple, sustainable, and really just start this progress off a little bit better. So, like I said, I was 42 pounds at the doctor's office. And what started this weight loss journey to begin with was I went on a vacation with my kids and I wasn't able to ride some of the rides that they were. And it upset my daughter because she wanted to do the rides with me. And that hurt. I've always been a bigger guy, but I've always enjoyed doing things and I've never let anything hold me back as a bigger person. I was athletic in school. I still maintain a lot of muscle mass and I'm strong and I can be active. I just overate is what it all came down to. So I didn't want to do any more crash diets, but I needed something sustainable and something I could really start building off of and lay that groundwork. So my plan in February was to track my food. I was shooting for a 2,200 calorie target. My highest that I would go is 2,500, and that's just based off of TDEE, which is basically the expenditure of calories that you do on a daily basis with your activity. Now I'm pretty sedentary, so it says I should be somewhere around 2,900. I wanted to make sure that I was at a 2 pound per week limit on my calorie deficit. So I thought that 2,200 calories, that puts me at 4,900 calorie deficit for the week. So I'm a little or under two at about 1.5 pounds is what that should show up to be. But I really wanted to focus on consistency and building a new plan for how I'm going to change my weight. At this point, walking has not been a main focus through February, and I'm using the Gym Geek app to track all of this. So if you've never checked them out, I know that there's MyFitnessPal, there's Lose It, stuff like that. Gym Geek to me just makes more sense. It shows me at the very top of my phone my calories, my carbs, my fat, and my protein. And that's really all I care about at this point. So the results from February. So February was about tracking food. I tracked 26 of 28 days. One of those days was the Super Bowl because it's all just snack food. It's very hard to weigh and calculate all that stuff. So I gave myself a break that day from tracking. And then the other day was just a day where we were busy with a gymnastics meet and I wasn't able to have. I should have ordered things differently, but it was one of those days where you're just busy doing things, you just eat. Um, and then, like I said, my starting weight at as of January 21st was 342 pounds. I weighed at the end of February to see how I was doing, and I was down 8 pounds to 334. So, food tracking, like I said, has always been a struggle for me. I've always felt like it just is too much to think about. I don't want to take the time to put the data in. But in the past month, I've really started leaning on it more, and it allows me to take some risks that I may not have, or I may have taken before, but didn't realize the outcomes that could have. So I do not restrict myself on food, I restrict myself on calories. So if I want to eat something, I can eat it, but I have to keep my calories under for the day. So it's nice to now look at my phone, see how many calories I've taken in. If I do have a bad day where I go over, I just put them in, and it's okay. It's one day typically. But it gives me more control over what I'm eating or when I want to eat something extra. So I'm using a lot more information from the tracking versus eating the food, putting it in later, and kind of guessing what I should or shouldn't have eaten. The hardest part of tracking is eating out. Eating out is by far one of the biggest things because these apps, for the most part, can get you close, but without the nutritional facts from the company, which even then I assume that there's still some discrepancies in those too. It's just hard to get a finite number without knowing am I putting in the correct number or is there some leeway there. So what I've gone to is it is very easy to estimate the calories because you can put it in ChatGPT and say, hey, this company, this food, what's the likelihood of or what how many calories is this? But the best thing that I've done is logged my food before because then I don't have to really think about what I'm eating. I can eat what's on my plate and I try to take a good idea of like, hey, chicken the size of my hand is about 4 to 6 ounces, and I do a lot of that now. But it helps me put the data in first, eat it, and not feel bad about what I'm eating because I'm saying, hey, this is the closest or the most aware I'm going to be of what these calories are. Am I okay with it? And it helps me stay within my daily caloric goal for the most part. Now I can choose to go over that because there's no limiting factor there, but I like seeing that 2200, and I know that once I get to that 2200 calories, any more after February, I feel full when I get to that point. The 2 days I didn't track in February, like I said, were Super Bowl snacks and then a travel day. In the past, these 2 days would have been multiple for sure. We've traveled a lot in February, but there was two or one specific travel day that I know, we just didn't have the correct mindset to be in a restrictive mode. And then the Super Bowl is very hard to be restrictive around. It's a fun day. I enjoy football. I enjoy family, and I enjoy food. So that day, I told myself I'm not going to worry about it. I'm tracking every other day of February for the most part. It's okay. Now, I didn't go crazy, but at the same time, that could have easily been a 3, 4, 5 day situation because I messed up one day big and it would have rolled over into other days. So I've learned a lot about giving myself grace. So there's going to be those bad days. Try to keep them to one day and then get back on track the next day. And I will try very hard to avoid going more than one day if I'm going to choose a bad day. Super Bowl, like I said, that in the past that would have been a week long thing. I ate bad one day, there's leftovers, keep eating till the next weekend, and then by the next weekend, you kind of feel crappy and you just feel like, oh, what's the point? And just keep eating. So I've really tried to strive for consistency over being perfect, and I think that shows, the ability to take those couple days out of the situation and say, hey, those were one-off days. Those are not the consistent days. Because if I tried to do that, I think I would struggle even more with this process. So what I'm eating on a typical day is a lot of it's around eggs, turkey, chicken as my main proteins. And then from there, we change up the overall meal for the day. So tacos one night for dinner, meatloaf, burgers. And we try to do this with ground turkey, whole chicken, and then break it up from there. We do a lot of salads, a lot of potatoes, baked potatoes that we put in the crock pot. We don't put a ton of butter in them, and if we do, we use that. It's I can't believe it's not butter because there's zero or I think it's like 5 calories per a point. So we use a lot of those whole foods to make our dinners, and that helps for tracking as well because I'm not having to think about what else is in this. Did I eat a ton of things? Um, one piece of chicken is a lot easier to eat than like turkey, deli turkey, because it's hard to figure out how much to weigh. But those have been my big goals there. Now, the March goal is really where I'm looking to build off of February. So, February was about tracking, March is about steps. So, I'm walking 10,000 steps a day while continuing to track my food. So between those two, I should have a really good deficit. 10,000 steps a day is roughly about 400 calories for a normal person, normal sized person. I'm 334 pounds, so I'm over the average person. So I probably burn more calories than that. But between my caloric deficit of 700 and the steps, that puts me at about 1100 calorie deficit per day. And if you move that over 7 days, you're looking at about 7,700 calorie deficit, which is right around 2 pounds. This makes it really easy to stay on track because it's like, hey, if I'm doing my steps every day and I'm sticking to my caloric deficit that I've set for myself of 2,200 calories, I theoretically should lose 2 pounds every week, which means March would be a big month of losing another 8 to 10 pounds again, which would be huge because that would put me under 330. And I haven't been under 330 since probably my early 20s. So the progress so far, this is the 4th of March. So far, 1 through 3 days, I have averaged 10,500 steps a day. The cool thing is, I just looked at this, I'm actually on a 6 day streak from February. So today would give me a week streak of 10,000 steps once I hit it. And the goal is to hit 10K every day for the day of March. No excuses. What I've been doing is if it's nice outside, I go walk outside at the parks. I can walk for 30 minutes, I can walk for an hour, whatever it may be, but I'm trying to get out and walk more. If it's nasty out, it's cold, it's wet, I come home and I put on a show and I march while I watch. Now, we do have a treadmill. Unfortunately, I cannot be on that treadmill because I am over the weight limit and I can tell the skipping in the treadmill as I walk if I do try it. So I just march in place. The fun thing about that, and I didn't realize it, is my obliques, my lower back, and my abs definitely feel that because I'm pulling my leg up to step. And it got sore the first couple days I did it. And really, at this point, my focus is only walking and tracking. Now, I've told myself that once we get through March and I see how things are going, see how I feel, I would like to work out more and do more weightlifting. Now, I know that that's going to increase my weight probably a little bit, but I'm okay with that because I'm going to be putting on muscle while still maintaining the 10,000 steps. So my goal for April would be to start some kind of workout program, CrossFit, working out with a trainer, something to do more lifting and more activity on top of the 10,000 steps. And I know that I've said this a long time ago, but my big goal would I would love to be at 220. I think a healthy weight for me would be 250 and my current weight's 340 or 334. So I feel good with where we're going. I've lost about 30 pounds over the last 6 months, but I feel like 4 months of that was me trying to figure out what I needed to do to even lose weight, what I needed to try. I tried fasting for multiple days. I tried crash diets. I tried regular diets like Mediterranean, Atkins, stuff like that. And I needed to find something that really worked for me and was steady and sustainable. So what I've got to is I can eat whatever I want within the 2,200 calories, and I've got to walk 10,000 steps a day with the goal of getting to 250, hopefully by August. So I'm going to be changing how I post on here. In the past, I've done shorts, and I think what I want to do is use YouTube as more of my long form and use TikTok and Instagram as my shorts. So I will be posting more weekly updates, typically on Wednesdays is what I'm shooting for. I want to share real progress, real struggles, just like I've done with my shorts. And I want to share just the monotony of it. Unfortunately, I do not have the will to do the crazy stuff anymore. I want something that is dull, boring, and easy to do. So, if that is you, if you are on that same path, or you would like to follow my journey, I would recommend that you subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get updated when I do post my videos. And then you can always jump into the comments and let me know how you're doing, how your progress is going, what challenges and struggles you have, and I would be happy to connect with you and just kind of help you along the way in those.